And we are live. Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Tea with Jase. Although today is gonna be coffee with Jase because we didn't sleep enough. Okay, so we have some coffee here. Mel, I'm so excited to have you on the channel. When I discovered your channel, I was like, oh my God, another solo traveler. And then in the UK. How is that possible? We have to meet. And I'm like, okay. And I'm so glad that you said yes to come on the channel. So can you please introduce yourself to, our friend watching?
Yes, no, absolutely. And thank you so much, Jace, for reaching out and inviting me on this call. I'm so excited to be here. And I really admire again, it was like serendipity, really, because I had recently discovered your channel as well.
Oh,
And then you reached out. I was like, oh my gosh, what this is meant to be kind of thing. So I
yeah.
really admire what you do, and and I love your enthusiasm and your drive, and I know it's very difficult times right now with your family. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, and I really admire your strength and your enthusiasm, for life. Always. So really grateful for that. So thank you again.
Thank
And
you so
well, about myself. So now I've been traveling. I think the first time I traveled, I was about 16 years old when I traveled, on my own. But I was meeting people that I knew, but I traveled on my own. And, I thought, there's a big wide world out there. This is so exciting. And then life happens. I did some bits and pieces in between, student and all of the rest of it. And, and then something clicked in my 40s. I'm like, what's where's that girl that was so adventurous, that was going everywhere, fearless, life just took over, and I felt like I forgot myself a little bit. So I thought,
Oh,
I need to get this sorted out. Let's get back out there. So I started being intentional about traveling more, and then I tried to gather my friends around and said, come on guys, let's go, there's so much to see out there, let's go. But it never left the group chat, and I was like, you know what, I can't wait. I just need to go. So that's how I started up going, traveling more, and really being intentional about seeing more of the world.
I love what you shared. Can you see that I can't stop smiling? I like my smile is to my ears. I'm like I'm gonna have my face is gonna hurt after because what you shared is so much similar to me. And a lot of us like, waiting for friend, family, everyone, to travel. No one wants to travel. At the end, you have to say like, we only have one life, you know? And
Absolutely.
then that's really nice. So you started traveling at 16.
Yes, yes. I traveled to America on my own, actually. And
16.
yeah, I was like really brave, and everybody around me even, was like, why would you go there? And I was like, why? I didn't see anything, it didn't phase me. I didn't think about it or whatever. I was like, somewhere to go. So
Can you say a
yeah.
little bit about that experience at 16? Like you leave the UK. Were you living from the UK to America?
No, I actually grew up in the Caribbean. So
Oh my God,
I
that's
went to school in the
exciting. Where?
Caribbean. So
Where?
yeah, Trinidad and Tobago.
My goodness. Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so I went there from the Caribbean because I was, I'm from the UK, but my childhood was spent in the Caribbean. So maybe
Yeah.
there was a bit of a taste of travel from, from my early years that I didn't know was laying dormant. I don't know, maybe. So yeah, and then I went there at 16. I've got family there. But yeah, I thought, yeah, it's somewhere to see. You hear about it, you see it on TV or whatever. Let's go and check it out. And people were like, why would you do that on your own? And I'm like, I didn't see any problem with it.
So you've been a nomad at heart, I would say. Like some of our friend here, Amy, and I've seen Amy. Amy's very good friend, and also like Debbie Sue. Here saying hi, hello Mel. That's some of our friends that
Hello.
always here. Love Debbie Sue. She's just like a kind woman. All of them have a YouTube channel, by the way. So you can always, get to know each other. And we have Amy. Amy has a YouTube channel, but she doesn't use it yet. She's like, in the making. So, right. So, was it like so different, like leaving the Caribbean to go to the big? I know when I arrived in America for the first time, I grew up in France and then the UK. And I arrived in America. I was like, oh my goodness. And my husband was driving, but I was like, I was already an adult. I was like around my 30.
Mm,
And I'm like, 12, like 12 traffic lights. I don't know. The roads are so big. Where do you go? I freaked out. I'm like, oh my goodness. So how was the experience?
absolutely. And again, coming from the Caribbean, which is warm all year round, and I landed in New York in December.
Oh my God.
So it's like it was a shock to the system. Of course, I haven't got anything winter clothes or anything like that. I mean, why would you? Kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And and it was like, from inside, it looked all sunny, blue sky, and everything. And then I set foot outside, and the cold air was like, "Oh my God, what is this? What is this? Like the sun is shining. How is it freezing?" So yeah, so that was sort of my first impression. And like I said, all the skyscrapers, the huge roads, the big buildings, and people just hustling and bustling everywhere. I was like,
Yeah.
in the Caribbean, we're taking it slow, we're going easy,
Yeah.
nobody's in
Same
a
in
rush.
Africa. Yeah.
But here, everybody was go, 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 go. You're almost being bounced around kind of thing. Like, so I remember one time I was in like in Manhattan, like like where they have Fifth Avenue and all the rest of it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna walk to, what was the Empire State Building, and I was asking a lady on the corner of the road, oh, how do I get there? And she was like, you gonna walk there? I'm like, yeah, you walk everywhere, isn't it? And she's like, it's far from here. You sure you're gonna walk there? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna walk. She's like, well, it's that way, and that was the direction. So I just kept walking, and I'm like, I can see the Empire State Building, but I don't seem to be getting any closer. I've been walking for half an hour. I was like, okay, maybe I do need to take the metro.
Yeah. Amy lives in New York and she must be laughing because she must know the distance. And she's like, I don't even want to be in New York in December. Like, it's yeah. And Debbie Sue's like, lol. So they're American. They must be like, okay, it's so far. Ah, wow. You were courageous. I started later than that. you
Mm.
know on your channel you describe yourself as an introvert. How, and so how did an introvert become a travel addict?
Yeah, well, this is a funny thing, and I suppose some people, you would hear the word introvert and you think that, oh, you wouldn't want to be going and exploring kind of thing. But I'm definitely an explorer at heart. But I do like to be. I suppose I have internal dialogues with myself all the time, kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I'm always talking to myself almost and questioning myself and reflecting on things and internalizing things. But when I'm in groups of people, I can be social and friendly, but my charge goes, after some hours, after a couple of days or whatever. I need to reset. I need to batten down the hatches and be alone again for some time. So I do actually cherish alone time. I do. And being in my own head and traveling is, it's I find it actually liberating in a way, because I'm out there in the world. There is no sort of focus on me, because that's again maybe a trait of being an introvert. I can go where nobody knows me.
Yeah.
And I actually like that feeling. I'm
Yeah.
going, nobody knows me, and I actually try to blend in wherever I go. I don't try to stand out. I actually
Yeah.
would be more annoyed if people realize I'm a tourist than not,
Yeah.
in a funny kind of way, if you see what I mean. I actually try to blend in. I try to be like a fly on the wall, observing culture, observing food, observing different ways of life, and really learning about that. That really sort of gives me energy, I find. But yeah, being around huge crowds, or having to talk to lots of people for a long, long period of time, like if there's lots of energies around me, I think maybe I do absorb energies around me, and so
Yeah.
that drains my battery. But when I'm out there in the world or whatever, and I can just be exploring, I come alive. I just absolutely adore it.
Oh my goodness, I love what you're sharing. I could have said that exactly for myself. When I tell people I'm an introvert, people don't understand that introvert.
Mm,
When you're introvert, it doesn't mean that you don't socialize. It just means that you've recharged alone. Like, oh
yeah,
my goodness, I love my own company. That is
yeah,
crazy. I love
yeah.
being with yourself, and too much. If I'm with a crowd for so long, I'm gonna have to recharge. Sometimes I will just leave a room and go in the
Mm,
toilet for a long time because I need to, recharge, and I need to,
exactly.
you know, and a few days after that, I just need to be by myself.
Mm,
If I did too much socializing, I need to be on my own. So
yeah,
I so understand what you're saying.
yeah.
I love that. And so you said that what first spark, I mean, you say that you started traveling at 16, but early, and you like
Mm.
did it so big. You went to America directly. So after that, as an adult, after when did you start traveling again? Like,
So after that, life happens. You have kids, you have family, and all the rest of it. And I did travel around, a bit with family and things like that. And then I remember distinctly, sort of in my late 30s, I almost had a protest trip where I just took myself off on a spa weekend, and I didn't
okay,
tell anybody where I was going. I
a
was like,
protest.
"Well, that's it. I need a break. You handle things. I'm off, and don't call me until Sunday." And I packed my bags on Thursday night and I went, kind of thing. Um, and that was sort of and I felt it was one of the first nights that I had the deepest sleep ever. Like,
Oh,
since I've had kids, I slept for 14 hours straight,
okay,
like
you would,
something I've
yeah,
never done. I was up before everyone, last to bed, all the rest of it. But when I went that first night, I just completely crashed out, like 40. And I woke up the following morning so refreshed. And I'm like, it's so quiet. I haven't got to run to the kitchen to do anything for anyone. And I was like, oh, I really like this. I should do this. And then during the day, I took myself off to the shopping, go and look at the local shops. I took myself out to eat, and I came back in the evening, and it was a spa package that included dinner. Had dinner on my own. I read a book, and I was like, God, I miss this. I miss, the last time I
mhm,
can remember just having this space to myself was when I was at university, kind of thing,
yeah,
studying. I've not had this for 15 odd years, kind of thing. It's like, this, I need to do more of this, and I really felt energized. And when I came back on Sunday, of course, the kids ran and like held on to my ankles. Oh, you're back, you're back, kind of thing. And I was like, I actually felt really so relaxed. I felt like, okay, I'm ready to deal with things now. I can, I've poured into myself here, and I can now pour into my family and be the
yeah,
best, the best for my family at that point. And I thought I really should do that some more. So, again, I tried to get the girls together to go to trips and things. And I think one of the trips as well that I went away on my own, I went to one of the big trips after the spa weekend, and I did little spa days and things like that afterwards. I went to Thailand.
okay,
And I knew a friend from uni that I was from Thailand. And so I met her in Bangkok. But then the rest of it, I did a whole tour. I think I was in Thailand for like 10 days.
okay,
But she lived in Bangkok, and I met her, and she showed me around Bangkok, and then she showed me how to get to Chiang Mai. And then I left her in Bangkok and went to Chiang Mai on my own. And it was around November time, and there was the lantern festival, where
yeah,
they send all the lanterns up into the air. Absolutely beautiful, breathtaking. And then again, all the bars around, people going down to the river, to the bridge to let go. The lanterns was beautiful. And then I then took an internal flight down to the south of Thailand, to where it wasn't like Phuket, but it was a place called Koh Mok, I believe.
hmm, yeah,
And they had like a hidden island. So it's an island that you could only get to by diving underwater through an underwater cave.
wow,
It's the only way you can get. So it was almost like a volcanic mountain that had erupted inside. So inside, it was completely covered with rock around. So you have to dive underwater to get up into the center of this crater, which was like the most idyllic beach you've ever seen.
wow,
It was absolutely amazing. And I did that. And then I went to down south to where the railway and the Burmese railway, I think it was the River Kwai. and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely love, and I didn't, for 10 days, it didn't even feel like it was 10 days, kind of thing. It felt so short because I was doing so much
Did
touring
you
around,
not? That's
touring around, and that's when I said, right, I'm not delaying now. I'm gonna start, doing this a bit more often and try to get at least one trip in a year.
that sounds amazing. I've been to Bangkok, I've been to
Mm,
Thailand, but with my daughters. And for me, the fact that at 30, around your 30s, you were already like, I need time for me,
mm,
I applaud you for that because for me, it started at 45.
mm,
At 45, I was like, I can't take it anymore. And I really started traveling around, 50, closer to 50. Like
mhm,
by myself at 45, I still took my daughters with me, to Thailand, to many places.
mhm,
But that place that you say you had to go and dive to go,
mm.
you had to swim for a long time to go to the other side.
It wasn't a long time, so I think maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, so
But
do you have all the equipment to?
most of it, again, it depends on the tide because you get taken out on a tour. You have to put on your life vest or whatever. So there was only like a short bit where you're actually underwater. So the water,
Oh,
you go into the cave and there's much air as long as it's
oh,
low
right.
tide.
So
There's
you can.
air,
Okay, okay,
so
okay.
you
Yeah,
can wade in, and then there's just the last bit before you come up into onto the beach. The
yeah,
internal beach is where you have to go underwater to just come out the other end. So yeah, the bit where you're actually completely submerged is not a lot. I would say, no more like a minute or something like that, that you're actually fully submerged. But
right.
most of it, you're wading, you have your life vest on, and it was like a group. So it's a group tour that they take people out. So they
Yeah,
have everybody in tandem on ropes, and everybody have their life vests on. And
yeah.
when you were in the cave, it's pitch black. You cannot see your hand in front of your face. It is that dark. So you'll need to hold up the tether. Everybody's tethered to the rope. You have your life vest on, and there's guys at the front and guys at the back, leading us through. And then they're talking constantly so you can hear them in case anybody panics, kind of thing. But
I'm
yeah,
already panicking sitting here. I thought I was courageous. I'm like pitch dark. All right. So you're a good swimmer then.
I'm an okay swimmer. I probably could swim for myself. I wouldn't ask anybody to rely on me to save them, though.
Debbie Sue says that sounds really lovely. I'm amazed. I'm
Yeah,
amazed. And Debbie Sue's like, wow. Wow, absolutely. Like this is
amazing.
amazing. I always wanted to go to Chiang Mai. It's on my list for the
Mm.
next time I go. How's Chiang Mai compared to Bangkok? I did love Bangkok.
Yeah, Bangkok is very bustly, very busy. Of course, you have with the markets and the palace and all the rest of it. Lots going on. Chiang Mai is a bit more of a slower vibe. It's definitely more of a spiritual vibe because there you have a lot of temples, a lot of huge monuments like massive golden statues
Yeah,
everywhere,
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing, like really massive ones. The I don't know what if you, but I think the religion is like Buddhism, isn't it?
yeah,
And they have all these statues. They're lying down or they're standing up, or there's
yeah,
massive shrines, and there's again everything is golden, and the temples
yeah.
are so elaborate. So it's a very much more peaceful, spiritual vibe in
Okay.
Chiang Mai
It's Chiang
compared
Mai.
to Bangkok, which is go go go. Everything is busy, busy, busy. Chiang Mai is much slower,
Okay.
slower pace.
Okay. I love that. I love that.
Mm.
So I guess you were not scared because you went under the water, swim in the dark, dark with people. So what did I've checked a little bit on your channel, and it seemed that like solo travel is something that changed you, right?
Mm.
What did solo travel brought to you? A lot of women
Mm.
still afraid to travel alone.
Yeah,
Over 30, I mean, over 30, maybe not, but over 40, over 50,
yeah.
mainly 60, even more. We call to be more fragile at that age, etc.
Mm.
So, what did it teach you to travel by yourself?
For me, solo travel, and I will give you an example of another trip to illustrate what I mean in terms of what solo travel gave to me. And it's quite a funny story as well. One of the trips I went to Berlin in Germany,
Mm-hmm.
and absolutely love the city and would love to go back. But I decided, I don't know why, to hire a car, and they drive on the opposite side of the road to what we do in the
Yeah,
UK.
yeah.
I hired this little mini Fiat Uno to get around town. I thought, oh, it'd be nice. It's a compact city or whatever. Of course, I drive on the opposite side of the road, so that's something I've never had any experience of. I was like, oh, how hard can it be, kind of thing. Um, and then, of course, I took the car out. I hired it from the airport, took the car out onto the main carriageway, and the roads were huge, and the cars are
Fast.
big, and they're fast.
Yeah.
And then, of course, knowing how to turn right and left. So the first junction, I pulled out into the junction. All the lights were, I was like, okay, just follow the cars in front of you, kind of thing. And I had this like panic. I was like, this car's going everywhere, kind of thing. Made it out of the junction, and I think I got into the little towns or whatever around. And then the roundabouts was frying my brain because you go around the roundabout the opposite way. When I came back after that trip, I came back. I was like, right, I'm unscathed. I brought the car back. It's not got a scratch on it. Right, that's it. I felt invincible after that. I felt
Okay.
I can do. If I could do that, I could do anything. I want a national holiday. I want land. I want, I
Uh-huh.
want to be. I want to be up there. Like I just discovered driving on the opposite side of the road and surviving it, kind of thing. I was so chuffed with myself. I was like, I was terrified all the way through. Like, what if something happens? But I did it anyway. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that is how it sort of changed you. And it bleeds into different areas of your life where you feel like, if I can conquer this fear, I can conquer other fears. I survived it. The worst that happened is, I've stalled on the side of the road, and the motorways were just crazy because my Fiat Uno could only go that fast, and you're having these gas guzzling, Audis and big cars zooming past.
Yes.
They're tooting their horn, bah, 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 kind of thing, because you're not going fast enough. And I was like, if I could do that, I could do anything. I could do anything. And that is what it sort of gives you a confidence that, yeah, you might be scared, but that's not a reason to not do it. Do it
Yeah.
anyway, try it anyway. You will survive it. So that is definitely what it brought to me, sort of that attitude of I can do things. I have proven to myself that I can do things, even if I'm scared about it. I can put my foot out. I can step out, of my comfort zone and
Yeah.
try something new. And that is how solo travel really. So this is why now I can go to countries like Rwanda on my own. I can go anywhere whereas people will be like, why would you want to go there? Kind of
Yeah.
actually when you get there, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's beautiful,
Absolutely.
it's modern, it's everything. But if
You've been
you listen
around that.
to exactly, yeah. So
Yeah.
that is how it sort of changed me in terms of giving me the confidence to try
Yeah.
new things, to get out of my comfort zone, even if I'm still scared. Because again, you see, bravery is not about not being scared; it's being scared and doing it anyway. And
Yeah.
that's what it's taught
Exactly.
me.
I love that. I love that.
Mm,
Exactly. When you travel solo, I totally agree. You discover how resilient and how capable you are.
mm,
I always say that at first I was traveling with my family, and my husband was the one organizing, and I was a
mhm,
passenger. So, so I didn't think I could go so far by myself. But when you do that, like
mm,
for me, the trip that scared me the most is going to India by myself. Because
mm,
I've been to India before with my husband, but it's so
mhm.
different to go to New Delhi than
Yes.
going to where I went. It was like Fort Kochi in Kerala.
Wow. Yeah.
Different life. It's like for me, it's like the
Mhm,
Australia of India. It's like because people are
mm, mhm.
that's how I see Australian, by the way. Because I went to
Okay.
Australia, and for me, they seem like with sandals and very laid back compared to the rest. But you discover that the world is not that dangerous. You just
Mm,
have to have the same precaution as at home, and you actually can do it. So
absolutely.
that's amazing. And
Absolutely.
so and it builds confidence, don't you think? Like also,
Absolutely, yes. You build that confidence, like you said, to step out of your comfort zone and to try something new. And a phrase that always sort of resonated with me. I can't remember where I heard it from to give the proper credit, but It goes something like, if you want to learn about how, what all the bad that is in the world, watch the news. If you want to see all the good in the world, travel. And
Oh,
that
I
is
love that. I've never
that.
heard this one.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
saw that quote somewhere, maybe online on social media, but I was like, that stuck with me. And it is absolutely true. When you go out there, people are by and large lovely. You've had the odd grumpy person, but I would can hand on heart say I've never had a bad trip. For me, even if the odd thing goes wrong or whatever, I've never had a bad trip. It's always been good. And I think that's going into it with that attitude that it's going to be a
Absolutely.
positive experience, whatever happens.
Love that. Love that, Mel. So, is there like, what are myths about solo traveling that annoys you the most?
Um, what things about solo travel that annoys me the most? Hmm. What annoys me probably is not even about the travel itself. So again, what is really important to me is, respecting our local culture and,
Mm,
their custom and everything. So it really annoys me when I see other people traveling into it and then they didn't even take a moment to try and appreciate the culture, or, being entitled, or, expecting, a certain level of service or whatever. It's like, that really annoys me. Like, even just a couple of words, hello, hi,
yeah,
or
yeah,
sorry, I don't speak your language, instead of assuming they're going to speak your language. So I always get a few phrases just short, like hello, goodbye, please and thank you, or I'm sorry, I don't know, I can't speak your language. So at least there, you will be amazed at how much people just open up to you. You just said, a word in their local language. I've made such
absolutely.
friends,
Yeah,
international friends that I'm in touch with still today, just by, just from that. So that is what annoys me when people, and again, I get it. Some people are, you're maybe only potentially going to be visiting a place once and you don't want, but again, just a little
still,
bit of effort, just a
yeah,
little, really makes your trip that bit more immersive, kind of thing. Because again, like I said, you can travel or you can be a tourist. I think there is a nuance between the two.
yeah,
And they don't need to be mutually exclusive. You can have both. You can
yeah,
have a relaxing, resort style. You're there for a break, you're there for downtime, and that's brilliant and lovely. Again, you can learn so much, and it adds to you when you learn about the place, the context. I learned so much, like traveling to the Middle East, say. I've traveled
yeah,
to the Middle East, and I went on a desert safari in Dubai, and it really opened my eyes as to the dress, how people dress, where
yeah,
that comes from. I mean, it was a nomadic desert, desert life, people, and they
yeah,
had to wear things to cover their faces and to cover their hair, and to, that was part of the culture, and the culture came out of the environment that they. So then it made sense,
yeah, yeah,
why they just like, it's not just religion, it's culture, it's environment. And when you're there in
exactly.
that context, it makes absolute sense. So I really do think it's sort of, it makes you grow as a person when you really immerse yourself in that. And that annoys me if people don't do that. Like, I've heard there was something recently in the news about somebody, you know, climbing up to the top of the pyramids or whatever, when it was forbidden, for people to do
Oh,
that. Things
yeah,
like that really annoy me. Or
yeah,
somebody went to Machu Picchu and was sort of, being disrespectful to the monuments there. That sort of thing really irks me. I don't like to see that. I mean, what else I would say? I think that's probably. I mean, again, I don't like crowds too much, so so I don't like crowds. If I'm going on an excursion, I would probably pay a little bit more to go with a smaller group than go with the masses kind of thing, because
yeah.
less draining that way. I don't do backpacking. So again, a lot of people think solo travel is about backpacking. It's not just about
No,
backpacking. You
yeah,
don't need to
yeah,
you can travel in any style you want. So, I don't do the backpacking. I'm not, that's for the youngsters. Leave them to that kind. They can hack it. I'm at this time of life, I need comfort.
yeah.
I need
We
more
do,
fun.
but some of us still backpack though, so time to time. I
I
mean,
mean,
backpack doesn't mean the same thing actually. having a backpack and being a backpacker is
It's
different.
two different things.
As a luggage, you see what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Which one is easier to carry or not? But
exactly,
I get you,
exactly,
what you're saying. At this
exactly,
age, you
exactly.
want luxury. You want to
Yeah.
be more comfortable.
I want
Totally
comfort.
agree. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, and I'm not knocking backpacking. If anybody wants to and has the energy to, it's absolutely fine, But yeah, having a backpack, I do travel with a backpack myself. Sometimes I pack my
See,
things in.
yes, that's the difference that we need to do. That's a video we need to do actually. The
Yeah.
difference between being a backpacker, a true
Mm,
backpacker, and carrying a backpack because of the convenience. Or
exactly.
yes,
Yeah.
that's yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So that those sort of things, is sort of what I try to avoid. I avoid crowds. I don't like obnoxious people that are not being mindful of
yeah.
the environment and the culture. um so yeah, I would say those are my main sort of things. I mean, there's things like, there is an unfortunate thing about being a solo travel, that especially if you stayed in a hotel, say, that we have to pay a bit more because
Yeah,
there's a solo person supplement, so
yeah,
that's
I
kind of
know that's annoying as well.
yeah, that's
Absolutely,
kind
yeah.
of annoying.
The solo
Yeah,
tax. It's just like, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You know, I'll just quickly go to our friend. I love what you're sharing, Mel. I'm like, yeah, I can't stop smiling. I'm like, oh my goodness, because I just love what you're sharing. Debbie Sue says, like, I totally agree with you. You know about being respectful of the place you come. That's my most annoying thing. Like when
Mm,
you go to a place. I lived in Dubai for 1 year. I lived in Bahrain for 4 years. So I've been in
mm,
the Middle East a lot, and I've seen so many tourists arriving and disrespecting the place they
mm,
are. Not covering themselves,
yeah,
dressing in a way inappropriate to the culture they are in. Women cover themselves, so
yeah,
don't come completely and
yeah,
undone
yeah,
with tiny short and
yeah.
your
I've seen it. Yeah,
doesn't make sense, right?
yeah.
Respect that, learn about where you're going.
Mm,
So at least, it's not your culture, but then you're not in your home. You
absolutely.
you a guest, you're visiting.
Exactly.
So it's like if you go to a friend's house, you're not going to do what you want there.
Mm,
You want to respect your friend's house. Same difference here.
mm,
So I love that you share that. Let me just quickly go to our friend messages. Debbie Sue says, just having respect for the culture.
absolutely.
Absolutely, Debbie Sue. I see my other friend here. Um, does Mel have a repeat travel location? That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I do have and it's funnily enough, it's one of the locations I've been to, several times, but I've never documented it. It almost feels like home now. So
Where?
actually, Lisbon in Portugal, I
Really? Lots of
absolutely
people
love
love
that
Lisbon.
city.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, I've started going to other places around Portugal now, but
Yeah.
Lisbon, I've probably been to Lisbon about 5 times. I absolutely love it for like a short break, and I
Yeah.
like I can get there and just know my way around, and getting around and things. So I absolutely love Lisbon. Is one of my favorite cities
Why is that?
in
Wh-
Portugal, the
Yeah,
capital.
no. Why? No, I know
Oh,
Lisbon.
why?
Yeah. Why is that? Why Lisbon? What attract you so much to that place?
Yeah, I absolutely love because again, one of the things that I look for when I travel is the vibe. I'm really tuning into the energy of a place. That
Uh-huh.
really is important to me. So I'm not sort of there in a vacuum. I really do tune into what the place feels like to
Yeah.
me. And Lisbon just has a really nice vibe. I don't know what it is. It's one of those things you can't put your finger on it. I go there and I feel comfortable. You know, I feel like I can move about. I love the food as well.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
the fish and again, I'm not a seafood person, but there I can eat seafood. I
Yeah.
can eat cod and all the rest of it. So I love the food. I love the port.
And the
I
people
love a pastel de nata. The people are
are
absolutely
lovely. Yes.
lovely,
Yeah.
very helpful. Like everything is easy going compared to
Yeah.
a lot of cosmopolitan cities. That you see around Europe and America and things. It is kind of like it's a world class city, but it's giving a sort of a laid back vibe. That's
Yeah.
probably the best way I can try and explain it, and that's what it feels like to me. And maybe because there's a bit of familiarity there now for me,
Yeah.
that could play into it. But yeah, it's just the vibe of the place is just really speaks to me, and I absolutely love the architecture. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's what I really love about Lisbon. It's just a gorgeous city.
Absolutely. I have Pam here saying, yes, I love it in Lisbon. I mean,
Mm,
most people that I heard talking about Lisbon love the place. Me too. I've been to Portugal many times.
mm,
And I don't know, it's really a nice place. And also, I have Lanre Wall here. Lanre is also like a traveler. Every time I open a channel, she's somewhere. I'm like, where is she this time? You know, she's always going somewhere, and she's in London. Lanre said, I love Lisbon. It's a great city. And yes, every city has its own energy and vibe.
mm.
Absolutely. And I just want to quickly say hi to my friend Vicky here. Good morning, ladies. And Vicky says, I get so embarrassed when I see Americans acting American when I'm abroad. Vicky, I love that. You know, I have the same thing for me for the French and the African people. They're the loudest wherever they go. Okay. If you see somebody shouting in a train or in a, there is a French or African. Anyway, that's the one that I see because, you know, I can see myself. I'm like, please stop embarrassing us. Yes. All right. So chill spot. Okay, apparently, yeah, Lisbon. Lisbon. So many people
Mm,
love
nice.
Lisbon.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's continue quickly with the question that I have here. You say that you do you meet people on the road? Do you make friends on the road, even as an introvert? How do you make
Yes.
and the
Um,
trois?
it sort of happens naturally. Like, like you said, although I'm an introvert and I'm moving around and trying to blend in and stuff, I'm quite open to people. And I suppose maybe I do better in one to one or like, type conversations and things. So if I'm on a group excursion, say I'm doing something, like most recently, I met this Asian lady, Young. So we went on an excursion in Santorini. We went on the
Oh, Santorini.
catamaran
Yeah.
tour out to the islands. We saw the different beaches, and there was stops on the way, and then we stopped for a sunset. And she was there on her own as well, and it was taking pictures. And I was like, "Oh, would you like a picture? Should I take a picture for you?" And then she's like, "Oh, are you here alone as well?" And then for the rest of the trip, we were just buddies for the rest of the trip. She's like, "Oh, I'm staying here. Let's meet up for dinner." We did. So that's literally how friendships start. It's just
Yeah.
naturally and normally. And maybe when you're at a place, when you're visiting a place, maybe you will sort of meet with people that have the same sort of style as you, if for want of a better word, or same temperament or same tastes, I
Yeah.
suppose. The fact that you're there at that same space, the same time, kind of thing, there must be something you have in common in terms of how you go about things. Another good friend of mine, I met her. She's from Germany, and I met her. Gosh, this was a few years ago. Where were we? I went to Madeira, was where I met her. And again, she was having dinner alone. I was having dinner alone, and I just said, "Oh, hi, you having dinner alone? You can join me if you want, or kind of thing." And she's like, "Oh yeah, sure, why not?" And she
Wow.
actually knew somebody else there, so we both had dinner that night. And then a couple of days, it was a couple of nights later, she's like, "Oh, we're going to the Sky Bar. Would you like to come?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll come." And so we went to have drinks at the Sky Bar together in Madeira. And since then, I've been to Germany. She's been here. She's invited me to her 40th birthday party. Kind of thing. So we've just kept in touch that way. And other people I've met as well, I met them on the plane. So somebody I've sat next to on the plane. This is
Wow.
a gentleman that's way older than me, but he loves telling me about his latest travels. He must be 65 plus or whatever, and he was very chatty on the plane, kind of thing. Sweet man. Um, and he was like, "I'm retiring abroad," and then he will just message me, I'm in Vietnam now, Mel. I was like, "Oh, great, have a good time, be safe." And then next message, "I'm in Malaysia, Mel." Kind of thing. So we had sort of this pen pal thing going on where he just updates me on where he is and what he's doing. So I'm open to that, and I think you meet really sort of when you meet people that are open to that kind of thing, it's really heartwarming, and like you said, it just renews your faith in humanity that people are by and
Absolutely.
large good, people are
Yeah.
by and large kind. and that's what I lead with in terms of me. So I've met loads of people. I mean, like I said, I went to Rwanda and a family invited me. I hadn't met them before. They invited me to dinner to their house. I went to a local wedding, and I'm still in touch with the family now. The kids were small when I went there. I've seen the kids are teenagers now and things. So yeah, there's a lot of that, and I absolutely love those connections, because sometimes you could be on a trip and you meet somebody and you had a really good connection with that person, and then you never see them again. And it's like, oh, it's a bit sad, when you never see
Yeah.
them
Oh my
again.
goodness. Yes. Yes.
So yeah, so those people that I do manage to keep in touch with is special. So it's really nice.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just want to quickly say hi to our friends here. Hey, Maria, thank you for being here. Good morning, Jace, and bon dia to your guest from sunny New York. Is sunny in New York? Really?
Wow.
It's raining in the UK. So, um, Amy says, so true. I need to call a woman I met in Barcelona on a small group trip that
Mm,
lives in Washington, D.C. to meet up this summer. Yeah, I can't count the number of friends I met on the road. I
yeah,
can't count.
yeah.
And as you said, Mel, these friends that are just for that season of that
Mm,
period where you travel, and when you separate, it's so sad.
mm,
And I remember a group of friends that I traveled with. I'm in touch with them online, but
mhm,
I traveled with them for 3 weeks in South Africa and
mhm,
Namibia, Zambia. When we separated, oh my God, my heart was aching because they became my family for 3 weeks. We were doing everything, shopping, doing everything, and suddenly we had to separate. I
mm.
cried like, oh my
Oh,
goodness, like I was separating from my family. I I get that. You travel so much. You've been to 40 countries, 82 cities, and across 5 to 7 of the 7 continents.
mm,
Can you tell us a little bit where you've been, and
mhm,
and what are the countries that uh, stayed with you to this day?
mhm. Right. So, I mean, I get asked this a lot. So, I've been, it's probably easier to say where I haven't been.
That's after.
But in terms,
Don't burn bridges. We're gonna ask you for your bucket list and things after.
yes. So,
Yeah.
in terms of regions, so I've been mostly Europe, mostly Asia, a bit in, the Middle East. I've been done a bit in the Middle East. Um, Places that I have, and of course, America, North America, Canada. I've not done so much in South America.
Me neither.
And of course, Antarctica is on the bucket list. I've not been to Australia, New Zealand, that part of the world.
Yeah.
So, in terms of cultures that really, sit with me, that really left an impression, I would say definitely Rwanda. I always talk about. I think that is probably my top trip, because it was such an intense trip, but intense in a good way.
Yeah. Where
And
were you in Kigali? In
in
Kigali?
Kigali, yes, Kigali
Okay.
was my base
Okay.
in Rwanda.
Yeah.
And the people, and then again, I don't speak much French, so I only knew a few phrases of French as well when I went there.
Yeah.
And then I took the motorcycle taxis as well. That was an exhilarating
You
experience.
took the motor taxi?
Motorcycle taxis. So
Oh
a lot of the
wow.
taxis they have is a
I don't
motorcycle.
dare taking them. I don't dare. Anywhere I go to Africa, everywhere, I'm so scared to take them.
I don't know what I was like. Well, people are surviving. I mean, they do have some accidents there, but I took a motorcycle, and one of the things I remember, I took a motorcycle to try and get back from Kigali center to where I was staying, and of course, it's not properly named roads and stuff if you're outside of the city or like around the city. So
Yeah.
trying to explain to this guy where I need to go to, not speaking much French at all, and trying to describe it. And again, he was like determined to get me to where I needed to go to. He's like, I'm not leaving you until we find where we go. And I think we drove around for like an hour, and he stayed with me for an hour to figure out. And then he would stop, he would talk French to some people on the side of the road. This is what she's saying, and I would speak French, speak English, somebody who maybe knows that I can explain a bit more. And we managed to do it. And that was really heartwarming because I mean, how many fares he could have gotten in that hour, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm determined that you're gonna. And again, I knew sort of the roads and I can see the familiar places, but just making that connection to actual building
Yeah.
was something else. So people were so lovely, and like I said, I met a family, you know, that invited me over for dinner that I've still in touch with today. I went to the most moving experience I've had when I went to a Rwandan wedding with the dance and the dress. So beautiful, so graceful. It's almost like a bird. It,
Yeah.
it moved me to tears. It was that intense, you know. It was so
Wow.
beautiful, watching that and see, like, you really felt the culture, through you. Like, I had goosebumps. Like I said, I was
You're
in
giving
tears.
me goosebumps right now. Listening to
It,
you talking, I'm like,
it was
okay.
something else. So that one really stayed with me, and how the country has done so much, progress leaps and
Yes.
bounds from that,
Yeah.
horrific history.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to see. They adore their leaders. They are really adore their leaders, and they're really putting into their people.
Yeah.
So it's such a lovely place. People are so lovely there. So that's one culture that really sat with me.
Hmm.
And like I said, I mentioned Lisbon as sort of my favorite city that I can just hop to and fro. Of course, the Caribbean, I'll be a bit biased. It'll always have a place in my heart. Going to Trinidad and Tobago, but much of the islands in the Caribbean are great and fantastic food. I say, anything, if you haven't been to Trinidad and Tobago, I
No,
definitely
not
have
yet.
put it on your list.
It
The
is.
food is amazing. Carnival
Yeah.
is a brilliant time. I think we've got the second biggest carnival in the world. That's
Okay.
around,
Really? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
after Rio.
After
So
Rio, yeah. Yeah.
it's a really good, and the music and the culture is just so you get addicted to it. Absolutely, it will never leave you. So although you can take the girl out of Trinidad, you can't take Trinidad out of the girl. So Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm definitely advocate for that. um where else? I think that's in terms of, and again, like you said, places like the Middle East and really understanding the context of the culture, that has been an education. I suppose the thing that was sort of got me really opening my mind and thinking a bit more
Yeah.
about how things are the way they are, why people dress the way they do, what does it mean, kind of thing. Because I went to a mosque and took part in the prayer. So again, I'm not Muslim or whatever, but I'm quite open to try
I did
other
that too
things.
several
Um,
times. Yeah.
went to the mosque, saw the the prayers and how that is all done, and the
Yeah.
washing, and again, very moving experience, really moving. And it's like, okay, I absolutely get it. I get how things develop, and it's really, when I go anywhere now, I actually think about the context. So I went to Finland not so long
Oh,
ago. I
yeah.
was chasing the Northern Lights. I didn't get to see the Northern Lights, by the way. And um, there was a. I went to sort of one of the museums, and it talked about how the berries that they used to eat in the in the fields, and I think, and the winters, because I went there skiing season as well. And the winters, like, every tree was just white and covered in frost and snow. And to think how those people survive those winters, foraging for berries and things, to what Finland is. There's, like, it really makes you think of the really big picture, the wider picture of how resilient people we are,
Yeah.
where we are. So that those sort of things really sit with me.
Wow, that's amazing. I
Mm.
want to quickly come back to what our friend are saying. Pam have been to Rwanda as well, and she's like, the hills are crazy on motorbikes. Do you agree with that? I haven't been, that was on my list. Last time I went to travel
Mm.
to 5 countries to Africa, but I was supposed to go to Rwanda. But so many things happen in between
Mm.
because I was supposed to go to what that country in between? Uganda, you
Mm.
know. And to go to Uganda by road from Nairobi, where I was, I needed to go through Uganda. So I had to cancel that trip. But
Okay.
Rwanda is on my list. And with what you just
Nice.
explained now, it's just like, I so want to go there.
Mm, mm, mm.
Um, and you said something else. Finland is a place that Amy was here on the chat, and I have planned to go for a long time. How
Mhm.
is it there? How are the people in Finland?
The people are nice. I mean, if you I think the more they're very efficient, very nice, very good service, etc. What you might not get so much is sort of maybe the warmth, if you see what I mean, of maybe southern countries,
Is it
or
because it's cool there?
maybe. But
I'm joking.
again, very
Okay.
efficient, very nice, very good service, very clean. Everything runs to time, and everything is just, everything just runs. So I find it really nice. Like if you want to go there and just have a good time. I tried skiing for the first time again. Went to the
Woo!
ski
Yeah.
that's never skied before, never even put on a ski before. So I went to the ski place. You go into the sort of like the shop area where you collect your skis to hire, and they just give you your skis, and then they were like, right, there's your skis, off you go. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
I don't even know how to put on a ski or whatever. I was like, can you show me how to put on the ski? And she's like, okay, yeah, put your foot in this way, that way. I was like, okay, what about the sticks, kind of thing. So they won't give you what you need, but
But they won't show you how to,
you
they
do
won't
have to
ask you if you never skied before. There's,
Exactly. So unless you book, probably what I should have done, because I'd never skied before, is book a private lesson or something, so that I had
yeah,
somebody on hand. Because of course they can't just tend to
yeah,
anyway, because the shop was just busy with people coming in, collecting their
yeah.
skis, dropping off their skis, and all the rest of it. So maybe what I should have done is book a lesson. But I just wanted to try it out, because I was like, I don't even know if I would like this kind of thing, to
So you
invest
went to
in it.
ski? Tell me how that happened. Did you stand on the ski? Did you?
Yeah, I stood on the ski and I tried, like I was waddling like a penguin with this massive long skis on my legs, kind of thing. And they're really heavy. At least
the-
for
uh,
people when you're not used to them, they felt. I was like, I didn't think they would be this heavy. And I'm trying to move, and I'm just like, I'm putting in so much effort, but I've only moved like 10 meters. And I
did
think
you fall? Did you fall several
I
times?
did fall. I did fall. I was like, at the third time that I fall, I was like, you know what, this is it. I've had enough. I took the skis off and leaned them up somewhere, and then I took the ski lift up the slope, which was absolutely beautiful. If you take the ski
Yeah.
lift up, but these kids, you saw the kids that were on the slope. These kids were doing stunts and jumps, and I'm like, how are they? They're so fearless, They're going, and they're even going up the stair lift, the ski lift, with their skis on, dangling off the end.
They
I was like,
used
yeah,
to. They used to it. I,
they're so used to it.
I don't know if I'll be able to ski again. When I was a teenager in France and in Switzerland, you ski like part of a school trip. So I did ski at that time.
Yeah,
But as an adult, I don't think I'll be able to stand on them anymore or something.
it was painful. I was like, oh, after the third fall, I was like, okay, no, this is not. I need to give it up. If I need to do this, I need to have a proper lesson booked, because
You're so courageous, like you're trying things. That's lovely. Amy says, I want to sauna in, oh, I want to sauna in my way around Finland.
oh
Did
yeah,
you
that's
do any of the
gorgeous.
sauna? And,
I did, where I was staying had a sauna, so not one of the sort of big, nice looking outdoorsy ones, but yeah, they have loads. Apparently, there's as many saunas as there's people in Finland. So
okay.
it is. If you like saunas, that's definitely the destination. I even saw a demonstration. I went to the ice hotel, and they had an igloo, I suppose, for want of a better word,
Mhm.
sort of an ice made small little building that you can sit in, but it's got like a steam pot inside, and they actually go into this um ice cabin, almost like that, and you can pour steam, and it just bellows this huge amount of steam at you, kind of thing, where you sit there, and then you're supposed to go and jump in the snow and make snow angel, you know
Okay.
out, out of the I was like, no, I didn't do that. I didn't do that, jump in the snow, in your swimsuit thing. No, I
No?
didn't do that.
Okay.
But no, if you like saunas, definitely Finland is the place to go.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So, how do you prepare before a trip?
Right. So when I'm preparing for a trip, and again, I can be quite spontaneous as well, because sometimes, like, I have something a bucket list, and I would plan a date that I'm definitely going to go on this date. But most of the time, actually, it's I've seen a great deal. and I just hop on it. I was like, okay, if I can make it work. I think when I went to Finland, it was only 2 weeks prior that I saw that, cheap flight from Ryanair was £45. And I was like, I can get to Finland for a long weekend for £45, do it. I was like, I haven't got anything I need to be around for, people are sorted out at home. I can go, and then off I went. So, sometimes, a lot of the time is like that, maybe sort of weeks in advance. I do sort of look up. So again, I have like my travel journal that I write down some of the places that I would like to see, and I'm always adding to that list. So if I see a deal with one of those crop up, I would pounce on it, and then I would read around the destination. I would maybe do some things on social media, what sort of things. And I don't do everything that is on social media or what the guidebook says. I really do, because again, this is one thing about traveling a lot. You get to know what you like and what you don't like. If you do
Yeah.
something in one country and you don't like it, it's likely that you're not going to like it in another country. So
Yeah.
I do sort of map out, look at what there is to offer from the destination, map out what I would like to do. Then will be a couple of things that I'll say, okay, these are definite things I want to pre-book. Those are my must-dos. And then everything else is kind of loose, see how the feeling goes. So I kind of sort of wing it, most of the
Okay.
time. But I will have a couple of anchor things I say, right, these things I definitely want to do. So like with Finland, for example, the latest, seeing the Northern Lights was one of those anchor things, and that would entail driving most of the night trying to see the Northern Lights. Again, we drove until 4 a.m. almost, still didn't see it. I was so unlucky on that trip, but I was so tired, and you could go back the following night. But I was so tired, I was like, no, I can't do another night driving around for all them hours. So I would just have to come back. It's an excuse to come back again. So yeah, and then I will, maybe about couple of weeks before the trip, if I've given myself, again, for a weekend, it's just a few things in, like I said, in a backpack, just a few things in a
Yeah.
backpack that I can take, and I'm fine. If it's something a bit longer, like Santorini was just under a week, 6 days, I would, pack maybe a couple of weeks before, make sure I've got, if there's anything I need to get off, buy online, make sure I have those in. And then make sure I have all my documents in order and print everything and all the rest of it. So that's sort of my prep about, a week or two before. And then I go sort of, and I don't sort of try to be too rigid. I do give myself a lot of flexibility when I travel, because I know your mood can change, how you're feeling when you're there, because you don't know, again, the vibe of a place might not be what you anticipate. So yeah, so I kind of sort of, and again, it comes with traveling a lot and knowing what I like and what I don't like, and how I am. When I just started off traveling, I used to plan every detail. This day I'm doing this, and plan every detail. Now I don't do that quite so much anymore. I kind of just give myself space to sort of move with how I feel.
Okay, love that. So, how do you travel with family? How do you align today family, work, and travel? Do you see yourself as a full-time traveler, as a
No, I don't see myself as a full-time traveler at all. So again, for me, and I do travel with the family, some
okay?
when it fits in. So the last big trip we had was it last November? No, the November before, we all went to Ghana.
Okay.
And that was a beautiful trip. That was absolutely lovely. So, I do try to travel with the kid at least once a year. You know, we may do something small and local. Like again, we went on a day trip to Dublin and
Yeah.
back. That's something that's easy that we can do. And then maybe a bigger trip that we might go somewhere. And then for me, it's, whether there's a long weekend or there's a week that I can get away where they're not around, or, things like that. So that I can sort of pounce on. It's like if everything aligns, the trip, the kids are sorted, my work, is all sorted, then I can go off. So if all those things align, then I can go off. And I do make travel, for me, because I love travel so much, I make it a priority. I
Okay.
do give myself that grace, that, because again, a lot of us women, we tend to not give ourselves permission to do things just for us.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. I was like, I deserve to go on this trip. If there isn't anything that's pressing that needs my attention, then there's nothing holding me, then I can go. So, that's, and again, that is a muscle that you need to sort of exercise in terms of just doing it just because you want to, and that's enough. You
Yeah.
don't have to have external approval or anything like this to go on trips.
That's good, good, good. Amy, Vicky's saying, I love a good local trip.
Mm.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're coming to the hour now. So, Mel, it's been such an amazing time. I would talk to you for much, much longer, but I want to respect the time and our friend here and your time as well. So, I just want to know quickly, like, what inspired you to start your YouTube channel, and what can we find on your YouTube channel?
Right. So again, I mean, what inspired me with the YouTube channel, I wanted to inspire, other women to travel more, because again, even with my friends, a lot of the time when I'm asking people, oh, let's go on a trip, and it's like you said, there's that worry that's stopping them just going for it.
Yeah,
So I really wanted to inspire, like, show that if I can do it, you can do it, and how it's accessible it is. It's not inaccessible as you might think.
yeah,
I'm not rich by any stretch of the imagination. I
yeah,
work like everybody else,
yeah,
kind of thing, and I make it happen. So if that is something that you want to do, you can make it happen. And this is an example. I'm just being an example of how you can do it, and other women will have their different styles, and it's about finding your own style as well. So I showcase how I go about it, and maybe it would inspire somebody to do the same. So that's what I really started putting out on the channel. I'm trying to be a bit more consistent now with connecting with people a bit more, and talking about some of the nuances of solo travel, etc. Safety, confidence, you
yeah,
know, practical things like your packing and things like that. So just to make it, just to demystify solo travel. I think that is the phrase, to demystify it. And it's, by and large, you will have a good experience, out there, if you go in with a positive attitude, and you're open. Again, being brave is not being scared, because again, when I went to Greece, when I went to, to Santorini, I don't know, for some reason I was really anxious before that trip. I don't know what it was. I don't know.
Santorini is beautiful.
It's absolutely gorgeous, but then
Yeah,
again, like you said, some of the bad news stories and things about how you're treated, especially women of our demographic.
yeah,
So I was worried, but actually when I went there, I was like, what was the first? I actually had a good time. Everybody was nice. There
yeah,
was none of that. So
yeah,
where was that bad PR coming from? It doesn't, in my experience, it didn't. I'm not, and I don't want to dismiss other people's experience. I mean, people, you can encounter things, and you don't want to say, your experience is invalid. If you experience something, that's completely valid. But from my experience, I've had really good trips, and I want people to see that the world isn't such a scary place. It's
ab-
not such a scary place. You can do it. And I'm promoting my, there's services of support. People want to chat about, doing solo travel. I'm more than open to supporting people in that way.
excellent. I've actually shared all your details on the comment, and guys, they're gonna be also under the description of this video when YouTube put it there. You can also find Mel on Instagram and TikTok. You have an amazing website. It's so
Oh, thank
beautiful. How do
you.
you find the time to have a YouTube channel, an amazing website, so good, and now you have the time to do TikTok and like, tell me, I need to come take some lesson. I try.
Oh my God, it's just been building up, and again, it's just been building up slowly, and everything I'm doing on my own, so I don't have any help. And again, you're an inspiration as well with all that you're doing as well, and I definitely I'm inspired. Even the ladies on the call now that are tuning in,
Thank
really
you.
inspired by what we all are doing, and we
Yeah.
can all just keep motivating each other. But again, it's just slowly building it up over time, like I said, and just doing what you can when you can. And don't get yourself into a tiz if you can't make a time, or you can't make, I just put things out there as and when I can. And yes, you try to push yourself so you don't sort of fall behind too much. But again, just slowly building up the habits. So like I said, if I can post once a day and I can post that, couple of times a week, I build it up. Okay, maybe I add another third 3 times a week, and then and you just build it up slowly until it becomes a habit. And that's how I've gone about it, really. So yeah, so I'm really glad that you like the website and things.
Yeah,
So
it's beautiful. So I won't let you go without you telling us three things on your bucket list. What are the main things on your bucket list?
main things on my bucket list. I would love, love, love to go to Antarctica. I don't know how or when, but that is high on my bucket list. I really want to go to Brazil and, Salvador and Bahia in particular. And I absolutely have a passion for waterfalls. I absolutely love puff waterfalls. So anywhere I go, I try to seek out waterfalls. And they have a waterfall on the border with Argentina.
Yeah,
I think it was Iguazu or Iguazu Falls. I would love to go there. And of course, Rio, you have to go to Rio at some
yeah,
point. So Brazil is really high on my list. And I'd love to do in general more in South America. I've only been
yeah,
to Colombia there. And again, I really want to do as many African countries as possible. I think I've only done about 6 so far, but I
yeah.
really want to explore the continent a bit more and do a lot more travel around Africa.
Yeah, oh my goodness. You and I completely. Oh, I love the conversation. And the friends are loving it. I think it's the most that I had so many friends joining, to even 1 hour past. So you two ladies need to collab on a girl trip for all of us. Definitely. We're gonna
Yeah.
and we're in the UK. So we're
Oh,
both in the UK. We're gonna have to organize to
yes.
meet. I'm in the South. Where are you?
I'm in the Midlands, so near
You're in the
Birmingham.
Midlands.
Yeah,
Oh, I
I'm
was in
near Birmingham.
Birmingham not long ago. Why all of you are in Birmingham?
Really?
I have a video I haven't posted. I was in Birmingham a month ago or 2 months ago. I can't remember. I can't count. And I went to meet two friends from Birmingham. They're also YouTubers.
Oh,
One is
really?
Marvin. She's a TV presenter as well, but she's like on YouTube and she had a channel. And the other one is Angela, at home with Angela.
At
Two
home. Oh,
wonderful
wow.
women. I will send you the details. They're in Birmingham. Don't meet
Absolutely.
up without me. That's not fair. That's not nice. I'm
Mm,
like, you guys have to meet. It's so cool. They're
definitely.
lovely, lovely women. Um, Vicky says, yes, do it one step at a time. Yeah, that's what you were
Absolutely.
sharing earlier. And Debbie Sue said, Brazil would be amazing. Debbie Sue, Brazil is on my list forever. I haven't been to anywhere in South America.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was supposed to do a 1 year travel all through South America in 2000 and something. I don't remember when a lot of things was happening in
Mm,
the US, so I canceled that trip. But it's definitely on my list. Vicky, go away. Stop showing off. She's like, I went to Antarctica this year, and it's definitely a bucket list trip.
I
She's
need some tips from her.
amazing. Go see Vicky's channel, Aging on Her Own Term. She documented it. It's the most amazing trip ever. The
Wow.
way she documented it, you will see. Think it's a BBC documentary.
Wow.
So well made. And she said we couldn't add Iguazu Falls because we needed to get back home. Like 4 days to travel to Antarctica. She just documented so nicely.
Wow.
And
I would love to see that.
yeah, now it's on my list because the
Mm.
way she did it and the way she showed it, she just gave me like, oh my goodness, I want to go there too. Uh, yeah, show off, go away. She's my friend. That's why you're talking to her like that. I'm like, no, she's a lovely woman. And Maria said, is it the West Indian food? I heard Birmingham has Grace West Indian food. Do
Oh,
you,
well, Birmingham is known for is more East Indian or Indian food. I think actually there's and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Vindaloo curry was actually invented in Birmingham as opposed to India. So I think it's Indian food that's supposed to be really good out of Birmingham. So
I'm actually asking Google right now. Invented in Birmingham. I
yeah,
love the Birmingham when I went there. You have your own way of calling everything. and you like, they were like, okay, we're the biggest city after London, and it's
Yes,
also the city where there's the most minorities, like there's the
yeah.
most
Most
diverse
mixed, most
culture.
custom. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I did love it. I want to go back again. um was invented in Birmingham. Let me just type it down because
Mm,
I have to learn about this. I didn't know that. The Vindaloo, I
yeah.
love the Vindaloo. No, famous food. I think no, Google is talking about something else. I
Yes.
have to check that later. I have to check that later. All right.
Yes.
So, Mel, it was such a pleasure to have you on the channel. I really, really enjoyed that hour with you and our friend to friends. Thanks so much for being here and for supporting us. And please don't forget to like the live and go check out um, Mel's channel. I've put everything under the description, and I'm sure you're gonna love her. You've enjoyed the live because I see how many of you are still here. Jamaican food is so good in
Yes. It
in
is very
Birmingham.
good.
I went to
Mm,
one of them, so good.
mm.
Exactly. And there's a big community as well of like a Caribbeans.
Yes.
Yeah. It has been great, Jace. Thank you so much, Debbie. So you know how much I love you. Thank you for being here. Uh, Vicky, thank you. This was a great conversation. I agree. I don't even want to let her go. I'm like, I find somebody that travel like, yeah, solo traveler is so good.
Oh, it's brilliant. No, I
Mel,
thank you so much, Jace, for inviting me. I had a really great time. Thanks to everybody as well for your support. And I really want to connect with all of you. So I'll be checking out your channels as well. And yeah, let's support each other and see the world.
absolutely. All these women here are amazing. Amy, Debbie Sue has a beautiful channel. She tells stories, like she reads stories, on the porch or in the. She
Um,
has an amazing channel. Um,
wow.
you have also Pam. Pam is she lives in Zanzibar of all places, okay?
Oh,
And Pam has a channel where she's calling women to reclaim the health, their let me go back to Pam channel. It's real food come back with Pam. Pam couldn't walk last
wow.
year, and
Mm-hmm.
she readjusted the way she ate, and now today she's fit like hell. Okay,
Wow.
so and I've stayed with her over like 2 weeks in Zanzibar, and it did a lot of for me. I need to go back because now I came back in the UK, and then yeah, and it was so good when I was there. Vicky, aging on your own term, she's also amazing. She's
Mm,
teaching us how to plan for if we're not able anymore to, you never know, an accident or we getting older. Amazing channel. Lanre is a traveler. I love her. She's a deep thinker. I love her channel. I
wow.
love just her spirit. And all of these women, you can connect with them. They are supportive. They're just amazing people here, and that's what we love about YouTube, isn't it? It's like the oh, look at that. Look at that. Maria. Oh, Maria as well. Maria, your channel. Let me just quickly check here because I know I'm not very good at uh my memory sometimes because I know Maria is somebody that supported me a lot on the channel, and but you are on Instagram. I don't see your YouTube channel. Let me see. More on Instagram. So yes. Anyway, guys, thanks ever so much for being here. I hope I didn't forget anyone. Okay. So Pam say lazy. What are you talking about? Pam lazy. Pam's not lazy at all. She's not. She always say things she's not. Good conversation. I subscribe. She subscribed to you
Oh, thank
already.
you so much.
Uh, please, girls trip. Yes,
Yes.
yes, would
Yes.
love that. Thank you so much for being here, Maria. And Pam say in Miami now, walking 10K steps daily.
Eh,
Whoa! And
wow.
co-living. Co-living is something that I really would love to talk about. Maria, would you like to come on the channel so we can talk about that? You know on jazznomad.com, okay, jazznomad@gmail.com, send me an email. Maybe you could come on the channel so we talk about it.
Yes.
Send me an email. I would love to interview you about that. Well, I'm gonna let you go. It
Thank
honestly,
you.
it was so beautiful talking to you that I'm like, and we never spoke to you before, you know.
No, we've
It's
never
like
spoken before.
I'm so comfortable with you, and when you were sharing, I'm like, oh my god, you know, this is my soul
Oh,
sister from. Dora will hear that and she'll be like, what do you mean? I'm your soul sister. Dora is another one, a traveler, another great lady as well.
mm, no,
Cool.
I absolutely loved it. Thank you so much. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you've got such a great energy and vibe about you. I absolutely love your enthusiasm. It's infectious, Jay.
Oh,
So,
thank you
you
so
know,
much. That's
a
lovely.
beautiful soul.
Thank you. We're gonna let you go in a minute. Pam say co-living, co-living. Pam is a lot of women decide to co-living because it's cheaper. Yes, please have a co-living conversation. Perfect. We're gonna do that.
Yes.
Anyone want to come for a co-living conversation? Please come on the channel. We have to let Mel go, although we love having her here. You know, it's Sunday, so she need to attend what she need to attend. And thank you guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And Mel, thanks again. I hope to see you soon on the channel again.
Yes, for sure. I would love to come back. Thank you very much, Jason. Thanks, everyone.
My pleasure. Bye, guys. Bye, friends.